Well, the sun has been shining on the Bruins all season long. Only one blemish on their record. UCLA, the number 4 team of the country, taking on the Stanford Cardinal, looking for its first win in conference play. UCLA, one of the great stories in this early season of college basketball, as Bryce Alford, the coach's son, joined this year by a couple of, well, McDonald's All-Americans, a couple of young sensations. Joining the mix this year, Lonzo Ball. Of course, also part of the party this year at Westwood, TJ Leaf, 2 young freshmen who have, well, they've been one of the best storylines in all of college basketball this season, joining a UCLA team that was down last year and has bounced back with a vengeance this season at 15-1 and 2-1 in conference play. Aaron Goldsmith alongside, well, the coach, Steve Lavin. And Lav, this is a different vibe here in Westwood than what we saw last season, and a couple of the names we just mentioned, a big reason why.
Yeah, Ball and Leaf have changed the culture of UCLA basketball, as well as the trajectory, not just for this season. In Westwood, there's discussion of that possible 12th national championship banner being hung from Poly Pavilion, the rafters, but also the future because of the recruiting and the youth movement here at UCLA.
I'll take a look at the starting lineups for this one this afternoon. For the Stanford Cardinal, Michael Humphrey. Last year against UCLA, what was a win for Stanford? 24 points for Humphrey, nearly a double-double, 9 rebounds. Marcus Sheffield has taken over the starting point guard duties as of Thursday. Meanwhile, for the Bruins, Isaac Hamilton, a returner, trying to get things going. Just 2 for 24 so far in 3 conference games for UCLA. His first year on the farm, Jared Haas, a Roy Williams protege. A couple of really strong seasons at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. His first year with Stanford. On the other side, Steve Alford, of course, his 4th season now. A down year last season for UCLA, but nonetheless, Alford has led the Bruins to a pair of Sweet 16 appearances and a Pac-12 tournament championship. Humphrey to tip things away for Stanford. Thomas Welsh for UCLA, and it's Lonzo Ball, one of the greatest assist men in the nation, to begin things for the Bruins.
Stanford, Aaron, will have to play near flawless basketball to stay competitive here in Poly Pavilion against the deep, gifted Bruins.
Hamilton, a little floater, right through.
Well, that might be good luck for Hamilton, because I've never seen him not play well. As a broadcaster over the years, he has performed at a high level, so maybe he should give me 5%.
Well, right as we were saying, he struggled. He just starts off 1 for 1. Remember, no Reed Travis in the lineup once again today for Stanford. Their leading rebounder and scorer. Humphrey fighting for position. And Lee, for the big body, stays in front of him.
That's a good look by Stanford. UCLA gets organized very quickly in transition.
Deep 3, Lonzo Ball.
That's the first 5-6 seconds of a possession by UCLA. Their ability to get down the floor, get organized, and attack.
A minute in, UCLA leads 5-0. A foul is Leaf when reaching.
Stanford will make a concerted effort to try and play through their bigs, get a piece of the paint, get ball reversals, get deep into the shot clock possession.
Verhoeven, a deep 2, and he's good.
Verhoeven, a grizzled veteran. Seems as though he's been around since the Hank Luzetti days, or Everett Dean, the old coach of the Stanford.
Ball gets another. Got to start guarding him a little deeper, huh, Coach?
He's improved his shot. Unusual release, even awkward at times, but it goes in.
Pickens, a leading scorer without Travis. Too strong on that shot. Ball pushing the tempo. Gives up this shot. Hamilton steps back, wants a deep 3 himself. To Humphrey. This has not been an easy season for the Cardinal. 8-7. They're playing their 3rd consecutive top 25 opponent. A recent loss to number 25 USC before coming here to Westwood. A blowout loss on the farm against Arizona. Sheffield too strong in the step back. Hamilton spinning. Welsh, a quick handoff. Nifty pass, and Welsh can't hold on.
Yeah, Welsh communicating there with Hamilton.
Here you see Reed Travis, their leading scorer, leading rebounder as well, missing his second straight game with a shoulder injury. Of course, missed so much of last year because of a leg injury.
A devastating blow to the Cardinal. He will be back this year. That's the good news.
Pickens with a quick release.
And Pickens capable of getting hot. He's a streaky shooter. When he hits one, he tends to score in bunches. So it'd be wise to go back to him. Milk the hot hand if you're Stanford.
Lonzo Ball averaging 14 and 8 as Lee punts a three. Third three-pointer for the Bruins already.
Well, an excellent two-man games. We see Alonzo Ball there orchestrating the attack. Little pick and pop action. A tandem, dynamic as it gets.
Humphrey with the right hand, rattles out, Lee pulls it down.
There's a big fella showing his ball handling skills in transition, taking it off the glass.
Sharma with the block. Hamilton in the corner for a three. Leaf pulls it down, a fresh 30. Welsh with a free throw. And Welsh whistled for the foul. Welsh, who's missed some time, 4 games in fact in December, right before conference play with a knee injury, back healthy. Jared Haas with a number of substitutions already here in the early goings, trying to keep up with his pace as Trevor Stanback is on the floor now with the ball.
Great crowd here in Pauley Pavilion, a Sunday night, 5 o'clock tip on the West Coast.
Quick outlet to Hamilton, no numbers. Cross court to Alford. The head break, the left hand, and a block by Sharma, but a foul. He can't believe it.
Well, the threat of Alford's three-point shot stretches defenses, and Bryce understands with that shot fake he can get defenders in the air and creates that mid-range or rim game, and he'll be rewarded with 2 free throws.
An exceptional free throw shooter, missing the first. Nearly 84% of the season, even better than what he did last year.
This is why UCLA has a chance to win a national championship. We know about Lonzo Ball and Leaf as we see UCLA in the 1-2-2, three-quarter court pressure. They'll look to opportunity trap.
Allen with a walk. And a timeout on the floor here at UCLA, the number 4 team in the country. Well, the Bright Stars, the young freshman. We've seen Lonzo Ball with a couple of deep threes already.
At peace with his game.
And then TJ Leaf joined the party as well. 9 of the first 12 points for UCLA coming from behind the arc. As we take a look at a couple of sensational freshmen around the country and here in the Pac-12, Lonzo Ball averaging 8 assists a game. The last freshman, of course, Jason Kidd, a former teammate, by the way, of Jared Haas, his 1 year in Berkeley with the Golden Bears.
That's great company to be compared with. Was an assistant coach at UCLA during Jason Kidd's years at Cal, and he was a singular or unique talent. So to even be mentioned with Jason Kidd speaks volumes about Lonzo Ball's ability, and we're seeing it on display here, Aaron. He orchestrates as well as any guard in the country. He has that next gear in terms of blazing speed and quickness. He's shifty. His body control and vision also gifts or aspects of his game that are tough to prepare for. You can watch it on film, but until you face it live in a game, you really don't understand how challenging he is to defend.
Welsh, the free throw line again, missing. Last touch by Josh Sharma. It stays with the Bruins.
I was going to say earlier, the reason UCLA, I believe, has a chance to win the national championship, in addition to Leaf, who just gets the catch. Nice dump down to Welsh for the old school jump hook. Well devised, well executed baseline out of bounds play by Steve Alford and company.
Allen curling up top.
But it's the other players in addition to Ball and Leaf. Alford, Hamilton, Holiday, Welsh. You put that together, their first 7 or 8 as good as any in the country.
Allen contested with 5 seconds on the shot clock. Ball, the outlet pass, deep to Hamilton, doesn't need a dribble.
Talk about velocity, faster than a speeding bullet. And a dime. Now that delivery, like a quarterback in the NFL, putting it right between the numbers. And as you mentioned, Aaron, to be able to catch that in stride and finish.
Sharma trying to snap this 8-0 Bruins run, and he does with a very deep two.
And Sharma very comfortable for a player his size facing the basket from the perimeter. As a matter of fact, he's more comfortable facing the basket like a European big man than he is with his back to the basket.
Alford, quick pass to Leaf, fouled and through.
Again, the team balance on display here by UCLA. Looking to share the basketball. They enjoy the thrill of a pass. And we see that in this little two-man game. Nice delivery by Bryce Alford again. Leaf able to catch in stride and finish. Now, this rugged frontline player in the discussion as a National Player of the Year candidate, and clearly in the mix for Pac-12 Player of the Year candidate. When you have two players on one team in those discussions, you're in for a special season.
Leaf can't finish a three-point play. Cartwright brings it across. Missed all of last year with a broken arm suffered right before the season began. We're moving back on the floor now for the Cardinals as well. And Sanders is up top with under 10 to shoot, pulls up near the elbow. Some fruitless possessions here lately for the Cardinals. As Holiday on the floor for the first time. Hamilton fading, well shy. Pickens in the corner, a tough three. And the shot clock resets for Stanford.
Stanford needs to get a piece of the paint on every possession, whether that's through dribble penetration or post feed. You don't have to force, but investigate or explore getting the ball into the blue if you're Stanford. Force teams to collapse, give yourself a chance to get fouled, potentially get a high percentage look, play draw and kick.
5 to shoot. Verhoeven with Hamilton falling on top of him as he's on the floor.
Well, that's an example of what Coach Haas talked about today in terms of their game plan, trying to limit possessions. Because if UCLA doesn't have the ball in their hands and they're playing defense, they can't score. And to give themselves an opportunity to draw fouls or to get some good looks by getting deeper into the shot clock possession.
Pickens puts it up about the front iron. And it stays with Stanford. Hugo, the freshman, one of the rotation of 8 for Coach Steve Alford. The last touch, playing just his 10th game after knee surgery, right before the new year, or like in the fall. And that is about as deep as Stanford has gotten in the last minute or so. As Humphrey puts it on the deck, tries to get into the paint.
But if you're Coach Haas, you like that possession. It's aggressive. You're sharing the ball. You're attacking the rim. Naturally, you want to finish. And that's easier said than done against this UCLA front line. They close down so quickly in the post because their length and athleticism, and they're deployed well defensively. But very little daylight when you face UCLA at the rim.
Cartwright's got 5 to shoot. Sanders better put it up with 1 left on the shot clock. Nothing falling for Stanford. Holiday pushing the tempo. G.G. Goleman.
Good collapse there by Stanford. In transition defense, they scrambled back, and then the active hands lead to the steal.
The Cardinal missing 8 of its last 9 shots. Cross-court pass. Sanders puts up a 3. Hamilton pulls down the rebound. Now Alonzo Ball back on the floor. Ball puts it up from there. And he made a couple earlier.
That was the heat check, Aaron.
Sheffield. Not this time as Hamilton tries to track down the loose ball. looking for the Cardinal first win here in conference play. And it has not been easy going so far. Lonzo Ball on both ends. UCLA shooting 50% so far, which is actually below their season averages. They lead Stanford here in the first half. Well, Tuesday on FS1, it's the Big East doubleheader as Josh Hart and the #1 defending national champion Villanova take on Trevon Blewett and number 16 ranked Xavier. That's followed by Providence battling DePaul. A Big East doubleheader Tuesday right here on FS1. Nova now 15-1 after taking down Marquette. As seen on our airwaves yesterday, we can see the top 10. UCLA sliding in at number 4 right now. Nova, Baylor, Kansas, Gonzaga rounded out the top 5. And Creighton out of the Big East. Those top 10 as well.
Yeah, the 4 ranked teams in the top 25 in the Big East, as well as Seton Hall, who I think will quickly break into the top 25. Those 5 teams in a conference as good as any 5 in America, regardless of what league you're discussing.
Verhoeven quickly put it up off the mark. Ball bounces across midcourt. Steps back, gives it up to Holiday. Started every game last year, and this year is the league's best 6-man by far. Holiday with a flick, and Ball finishes. Picks the pocket, has Hamilton off his hip, and he's mugged by Sanders.
Well, what we're watching here, Aaron, is the luxury of having a guard like Holiday coming off the bench. Here, the lob up top for Batman. Lonzo Ball, give him a cape, able to climb the ladder and jam that one home. And then defensively, Holiday with the strip, able to go the other way, draw the foul. Surprisingly, they called it on the ground, so he won't get free throws, but possession UCLA.
And bounce to Hamilton. Verhoeven fighting for it, strips it loose.
Good push by Stanford.
Huge block. The Bogu. And they're going to count it.
This is a lively Poly Pavilion. I love it.
Now they don't like the call.
They're entitled to have their opinion. Expect nothing less from a loyal fan base. And when I say I love it, it's not my bias towards UCLA of having worked here for 12 years, but you want Poly Pavilion to have engaged fans that are getting out of their seats and on top of it in terms of following the game. And that's, again, a credit to these freshmen that have really changed the culture of UCLA basketball.
The Bogu off the mark. Ball trying to keep it alive in between his ankles. And sent the other way. Good hustle on the floor by Cameron Walker, the freshman. As Ball whistled for his first foul. But last year for UCLA, quite the different story. 15-17, 6-12 in conference play. They finished 10th. Oh, just terrible loss in the first round of the conference tournament in Las Vegas to USC. Steve Alford giving back an extension year on his contract. He was so personally disappointed in the way things finished and went for the Bruins last year. What a different story this season.
Yeah, and that sends the right message to your team, to your staff.
The Bogu with the left hand.
Nice look. Again, UCLA sharing the basketball. It's a team that has willing passers at every position, which makes them tough to defend. There are no selfish players on this basketball team.
Humphrey trying to get things going for the Cardinals.
Good delivery by Sheffield. And again, Humphrey didn't have to bring the ball down, kept it chest or higher for that finish.
Up top again, Ball this time. Passes it along. Coleman kicks it out. Hamilton. Biggest lead so far today for the Bruins. Hamilton, as we chronicled the tip-off, has struggled so much in conference play. Just 2 for 24 already with 7 points here in the first half. Sheffield, 35 points versus Arizona State. Has started now the last 5 games. Trying to get something cooking with 3 on the shot clock off the side of the backboard. Back to Holiday, can't hold on. On the deck, and a jump ball.
Stanford showing a lot of grit. That's the 4th time we've seen multiple Cardinals on the floor diving after loose balls. Almost like gang tackling or a scrum in rugby. Well coached, well prepared by Jared Haas, first-year head coach for the Stanford Cardinal. A bright future. He's one of the bright young stars in the coaching profession. He understands they're going to have to recruit at a very high level to bring Stanford back to national prominence. But he learned under the tutelage of Lou Campanelli at Cal, later under Roy Williams at Kansas after he transferred. And then, of course, worked for Coach Williams at Kansas and North Carolina. So he's got great expertise and training and pedigree, all the right traits or characteristics.
A couple of lopsided losses here in conference play for Stanford, including a 39-point loss to Arizona back in Maple. Alford, the outlet pass to Ball. One-hand secures off the glass. Ball leading all scorers with 10.
This team has an unusual ability, a sense for one another on the floor. And you see that in the timing of passes, of the delivery, and really looking for one another, working in concert.
Shot clock down to 5. Humphrey wants a deep 2, and he hits it.
That's a good shot. Both Humphrey and Sharma are comfortable facing the basket. Jared Haas gives them the green light at 10, 12, 15-foot shot range.
Humphrey finished stronger last year, 14 points a game his last 5. Alford getting rid of it quickly.
That's what Bryce Alford gives you, a quick trigger. The catch and shoot like a gunslinger in the Old West.
UCLA 5 for 8 from downtown. Lonzo Ball. You better watch out. A gentleman's finger roll.
Just an unusual talent. Things that you can't teach. The anticipation, court awareness. Sees the game 2 plays ahead, like a great chess player. Some players play checkers and others play chess. Ball is clearly a chess player.
Cartwright a deep 3. His first points on the day. Alford heaves up another. Snaps a string of 5 straight shots made by the Bruins. Alford's role has certainly changed from last season. Sharma, too strong, back of the rim. Last year, Alford so many minutes. One of the great facilitators, a lot of shots as well, but this year plenty of scores for the Bruins. Lonzo Ball comes up with a loose ball. Puts it into the second gear. Threads the needle. Goldman trying to clean it up off the glass. Now, was that a design pass, Vlad?
No. He's good, but he's not that good.
Cartwright tripped up. That goes on Goldman. Well, you said that Stanford would have to play perfectly here today, and so far it's been all UCLA.
Well, sharing the basketball, making the game look easy, torching the nets from all angles. Timeout.
Glad you could join us from Los Angeles. Pac-12 Hoops on FS1, the number 4 team of the country, UCLA, leading Stanford 32-16. Under 6 to play in the first half, and a big reason why for the Bruins. Lab Lonzo Ball, a dozen points in 14 minutes. He's done a little bit of everything.
And he does the damage in so many ways. Long distance, shows the range in his jumper. Here, maneuvering and working off the high ball screens. Nothing but bottoms of the nets, working without the basketball. The backdoor cut to catch the lob and jam it home. Of course, the recipient of a nice pass there by Holiday. So we've seen the defense. We've seen his ability to push the ball, to shoot from range. And again, when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he influences the game, both defensively with his anticipation in passing lanes and steals, and also moves well without the ball.
Humphrey way off the mark for the wing. Going the other way to the Bruins. Humphrey's somebody that you can tell Stanford looking to kind of take the next step. Good size, 6'9", 245, put on some good weight. Good springs in his legs as well. Averaging just over 7 points a game.
Well, a good athlete, was a quarterback in football, which is unusual for a player his size, but that speaks to his versatility as an athlete. And he's showing flashes of brilliance through his career at Stanford. The staff would like to see him sustain it, and as you mentioned, elevate his level of performance.
Alford fades away with 9 to shoot. Robert Cartwright pushing the temple for Stanford. Humphrey with 2 hands. And they're going to whistle in for hanging on the rim. Humphrey may be pleading that he had good cause to hang.
Well, he was in traffic. When you have 3 bodies surrounding you, it's instinctive to try and not let go. You don't want to land on someone. You see UCLA, Bryce Alford there trying to make a play on the ball, and Leaf was right under the rim. That's a tough one, because if you land on someone's foot, you could end up spraining an ankle or even have a worse injury. Tough one. Can't get a break on the road in Pac-12. But a good delivery. That was a positive play in the break. Cartwright, an excellent pass to Humphrey.
Alford on the deck, loses it, stays with it. Regains control once again. Leaf to Welsh, 2 hands.
TJ Leaf, a multi-dimensional player, gives them a hard edge, kind of a nastiness, a toughness on the front line, but also showing his ability to pass the basketball.
Holiday comes up with the loose ball, trying to weave through, tripped up.
And that's smart on Holiday's part, with the new emphasis in terms of trying to limit physicality and create a better flow to the game. The tie base goes to the offensive player, and the defender more likely in terms of percentages or probabilities in those scenarios to be tagged with the foul.
Alford puts up a 3.
Excellent form. Good lift on that shot. The pronation in the wrist. Ball comes off those middle 3 fingers. Buttery touch.
Biggest lead down for the Bruins. Alford's second 3. Humphrey puts up a 3 on the other end.
Now we're talking. If you're a Stanford Cardinal fan or a staff member of Stanford, you're starting to see the potential of Humphrey on display here this evening.
Leading all Stanford scorers with 9. Welsh from the elbow. Right to Robert Cartwright from not far away in Pasadena. Pickens trying to get something going for him offensively, and he's smacked that time by Welsh, his second foul. We step aside here from Pauly. The number 4 team of the country, UCLA, rolling so far over Stanford. Under 3.5 to play here in the first half from Westwood. UCLA taking it to Stanford so far. As we take a glance now, Pac-12 standings, Wildcats and the Ducks undefeated in conference play. Of course, Oregon handing the Bruins their only loss so far this season. And the Ducks were up in Pullman just last night, and Dylan Brooks, one of the best players in the conference. You can see right here, getting his leg up to Josh Hawkinson, Mr. Double-Double. Was issued a flagrant 2, was taken out of the game, and now the Pac-12 is taking a look at that video to see if there's any further disciplinary action that needs to be taken.
It's one of those situations we see Pickens miss on his first shot from the foul line, but going back to the Dylan Brooks scenario, the more you look at it, the worse it is. When it's looked at in a vacuum. The first time I saw it, I was leaning towards the fact that because he was falling back, that's why the foot, went on that kind of trajectory and velocity towards the crotch. But as time goes by, the challenge will be proving the intent, and knowing whether or not his intention.
You're looking for a motive, Len?
Exactly. It's a little like Rashomon, right? All the different angles.
I think it's exactly like that.
At it, or 12 Angry Men, a great movie. Henry Fonda was the white knight in that film, right? Trying to be objective and get to justice. But that's a tough one when you look at it. Again, the more I watch the replay, the more likely I think a suspension may be in play.
If you think of any other parallels with cinema, please let us know.
12 Angry Men was a good one. I know you'd appreciate that.
Outlet pass to Alford. Tries to give it up to Ball and off his back pocket. Pickens now leading things. Cartwright up under and through. Nifty play there.
Gotta love Cartwright, one of the great pepper pots in the Pac-12.
Hamilton found. Count it.
Well, Cartwright slips and goes down. UCLA alertly knowing they have the advantage, 5-on-4, able to escort the ball down the floor quickly and find the open man. A little hot potato action, the finish by Hamilton. Chance for the old-fashioned three-point play as he steps the charity stripe. Cartwright has battled injuries throughout his career, but always alert, gives you great effort, undersized for this conference, but someone that gives you everything he asks for as a coach.
Pickens stays with it, puts it off the glass.
I like the spirited effort by Stanford here. Short-handed, undermanned, playing with a razor-thin margin for error, yet they're battling. Turnover by UCLA. Hamilton stepped out of bounds.
You mentioned short-handed. Reed Travis, shoulder injury, averaging nearly 18 points a game, averaging nearly 10 rebounds a game. He's out once again, as you can see. Travis on the bench. Was a participant in practice, although not with any form of contact. They're giving that shoulder a little bit more time to heal up.
It's not only his numbers statistically that Stanford misses. A little short by Humphrey there. Maybe he's a little gassed. But also they just miss the ability to throw someone at the low post that draws a double kick. Good maneuvering by Leaf off the bounce. We've seen him rebound the ball, Aaron, and lead the fast break. There we saw him drive the ball from distance, slam on the brakes, gather the feet, get organized, and shoot that nice little soft hook shot.
Under 90 seconds to play in the first half. As Lonzo Ball gets the way of that entry pass. He'll take a three in transition. It has been that kind of first half for Lonzo Ball. He's got 15, his third three-pointer.
Well, there we see the terrific tandem of freshmen sharing the sugar with one another. Leaf dropping the dime to his comrade Ball.
Timeout Stanford. UCLA coming off a win against Cal. They were up 44-24 at halftime against the Golden Bears. They led by as many as 24 in the second half, although Cal did come back and make things a little bit interesting for Coach Alford. Well, this is the third highest scoring offense in the country, averaging just over 93 points a game. On their way there here today from Westwood. Cartwright slashing. And Vogel got a hand on it, but the putback is good.
Verhoeven again.
Alford his third three-pointer.
And here's what's impressive. UCLA on a regular, consistent basis takes away teams' baskets by getting scores of their own. And we know about runs off of a string of stops or shutouts defensively. But when a team scores on you, the great Laker teams were able to do that. They'd get the ball back down the floor, Magic to a streaking James Worthy or Wilkes. UCLA has that type of ability.
How about this shot by Allen as it rims thin? UCLA calls a timeout with 5 seconds left. We'll step aside quickly here from inside Pauly. What a day so far it has been offensively for the Bruins. 8 for 13 from behind the arc. Alford now with 3 of them. Lonzo Ball has knocked down 3 as well. Hamilton a 3-pointer. TJ Leaf, his first bucket was from downtown. 5 seconds. Holiday quickly with the 3. Hamilton fading back. And that's how the first half comes to close.
Well devised, though, making the most of that timeout, Aaron. Thinking ahead for later in conference and even the postseason.
Halftime here from Pauly, 48-30. UCLA leading Stanford right after this break. We'll take you to Rod Stone and Donnie Marshall back in our studio from the Fox College Hoops halftime report. UCLA, the number 4 team of the country, averaging 93 points a game with 48 in the first half here today from Pauly against Stanford. We take a look at the first half stats. This was a priority 3-point field goal shooting for UCLA this season. Take more, allow less. And so far today, 8 for 14 from behind the arc for UCLA. A big part of this first half, as you can also see points to the paint favoring the Bruins as well.
Size, the length, the strength, the quickness, again, just the balance across the board. A little lob play.
Welsh after the deflection by Ball on the failed alley-oop. Welsh from the free throw line finally gets that one to go today.
That's what Welsh does. He's so effective. It's a push shot. He's so tall, he doesn't need to get elevation on his shot. He already can see over the top and just has a very soft touch.
Allen with a jump stop and then off the mark, but Sharma recovers, never hit the rim. Humphrey, offensive rebound, loose ball, Lonzo Ball. Hamilton, that lane cut off, and a whistle.
Hamilton maneuvers at a pace where he's always on balance and under control. It can also make reads. There we saw a little hesitation and then acceleration into that gap or the seam in the scattered court.
Isaac Hamilton now back in double figures. He had a sensational run to the end of last season in double figures that extended into this year. 40 consecutive games for Isaac Hamilton in double digits in the regular season. Had just 9 in that first round loss to USC in the Pac-12 tournament. But as we mentioned earlier, have been held to single digits, 2 for 24 in the first 3 games of conference play.
He's a relentless worker outside of practices and strength and conditioning that UCLA naturally has. He goes above and beyond. He has a work ethic that's second to none, and that may lead to some of the struggles that he's had here. Sometimes you got to back it down some, make sure you're fresh and on point for the games.
Hamilton lets a 3 fly, bounces around as Sharma gets the rebound.
Now that's a good problem to have when you have a player that has that type of work ethic. But you have to pick your spots and make sure you're working hard. Good take, again, hesitation by Cartwright. Sees the opening, turns the corner, and uses the glass.
Alford with a quick touch and release. Buries another 3. That's his 4th.
Well, that's so reminiscent of his father, working well without the ball. Steve Alford, his pop, playing for Bobby Knight in that motion offense, used his teammates so well to free himself up for shots, and that created the distance, the window to be able to get open looks.
Humphrey off the glass, rims out, stays with it. Fouled by Welsh from behind. And for Welsh, that's his 3rd. Now they're going to whistle that on TJ Leaf, I beg your pardon. Second on Leaf. Humphrey leading all Cardinal scorers now with 10. Not a major recruit out of high school until near the end, mainly because of his interest, as Live was saying, in the first half in football. He was a 6'9" quarterback in the Phoenix area. Johnny Dawkins, one of the first high major coaches to show interest. Second foul on Robert Cartwright.
I've had the opportunity to call a number of Stanford games, 10 or more in the last 2 years, and it's an impressive group of young men, gentlemen, on this team.
Leaf following the miss from Welsh, and goes to the Cardinals.
And when you watch practices, you watch their game preparation, you have the opportunity to speak with them. It's clear they're true scholar athletes, and they're young men that will go on in life and have success in different industries, be leaders in their community. And that sounds cliche or corny as we see Pickens dial one up from distance. Again, Cartwright with a nice delivery, putting it right in his wheelhouse, where he wants to be able to catch and launch a rocket. And even tonight, they're doing everything that their staff has asked them to do. Leaf, a little back down jump hook, almost a Kevin McHale-like jump hook there. He doesn't have the size of McHale, but he has better handles than Kevin McHale at this stage of his career.
Cartwright dials it up, his second three-pointer. He's got 10 now.
This is one of the better games I've seen Cartwright play for Stanford, so there's some encouraging signs.
As you mentioned, Cartwright from Pasadena. Leaf, little floater. Sharma tips it right to Pickens. And here comes Cartwright and company. Good one-hand pass to Humphrey, fouled by Welsh. It counts.
Cartwright gets the angle, a good post-up, and it was a deep catch by Humphrey. And for big men, you got to remember, the deeper you catch the ball, you don't have to put it on the floor. You let your footwork and do the work before the catch, and it makes it easier to convert. UCLA giving up the angle there to the basket.
Ike Ngogu takes the spot of Welsh, who now has 3 fouls. Humphrey is 70% free throw shooter, missing. Lonzo Ball with 15 points in the first half, a career best. In the first half, that is. Alford with the scoop, foul. He'll shoot.
And that drive, Alford actually could have taken one more bounce, gotten all the way in. He kind of took off like a long jumper from farther out than necessary.
Last year, Alford 4th in the conference in minutes, 2nd in assists. See a couple of rare misses today from the free throw line from Bryce Alford.
The only thing I picked up on the rare misses that Bryce Alford has is when he rushes his delivery. And that's similar to the short game in golf. When you rush your putts, sometimes when you miss what seems a gimme. And free throws for Bryce Alford are gimmies.
Humphrey battling on Leaf. Lonzo Ball pulls down the rebound, pushes the tempo across midcourt. Leaf trying to go with the scoop and fouled hard. TJ Leaf with 9 points and a chance for more as Humphrey picks up his second foul. Timeout on the floor. Tomorrow, Skip and Shannon go head-to-head about the NFL wildcard games and look ahead to the divisional round. They'll make their picks for the College Football National Championship, America's fastest-growing sports show, undisputed. Weekdays from 9:30 a.m. to noon Eastern, only on FS1. Steelers taking out the Dolphins. Packers grinding the Giants as seen on Fox. Wildcard action from earlier today. Michael Humphrey with 13 points now to lead all Stanford scorers. You can see what the Bruins have done from behind the arc. 9 for 16. Lonzo Ball with 3 of those three-pointers. Bryce Alford with 4 of them. And TJ Leaf, the man stepping to the line with one as well. Chance to become the 4th Bruin in double figures here today. Leaf, a 2-time conference player of the week so far this season. Tough day at the line for UCLA, 4 for 11.
And that's a concern if you have hopes or aspirations of winning the national title. Pickens able to get loose.
Swatted away. Nabogu, we've seen him very active defensively. Pickens had a really good look before that.
Going back to free throw shooting, as you know, similar to football, the kicking game so often determines who advances in college and pro football. In basketball, that's free throw shooting. It's how you salt a victory away. It's how you come back.
What a move by Cartwright.
Nice from one side of the rim to the other. Again, he is on fire. It's both ends, too, with Cartwright. He's spirited defensively. He's been talking, communicating, orchestrating Stanford's attack. He's put the ball on the deck to create, but also distributes the ball, sharing the basketball very well.
Cameron Walker whistled for the foul as Nabogu got doubled up.
Actually met Cartwright on his 7th birthday in 2002. He visited one of our practices as a 7-year-old. Early recruiting now.
Hamilton fading away. Leaf. The clean putback. We've seen this stutter from Cartwright a couple of times already. Start and stop. That time it did not pay off. Alford with the kick. Isaac Hamilton letting it fly. Right back to the hands of Cartwright.
We've probably seen 7 Bruins lead the fast break tonight. That's one other aspect that makes them tough to defend or prepare for. Because some teams have one guard that orchestrates the attack. UCLA's frontline players bring it up. They take turns, interchangeable parts in terms of the guards or perimeter players. So you can't key on one player or try and choke, deny the outlet to stop UCLA's break, because whoever has the ball can push or initiate transition basketball.
Nabogu whistled for the foul. Steve Alford not too pleased with the call. Turnovers pretty even so far. Humphrey trying for the one-hand hammer. Nabogu whistled for his 2nd foul in about 10 seconds.
Humphrey tenaciously attacking the rim. Taken off from outside the lane. I think the officials got it right, because Humphrey was airborne, taken off as the defender was setting up. Of course, the officials don't have the advantage of watching it replay. We get the bang bang. Well, they have to call it in real time, bang bang.
So you're saying because Humphrey had already left his feet before and Nabogu had to come straight up?
Yeah, he took off from so far out, and at that point, offensive player gets the edge. Now, if you've already been set up and you've established your position prior to that takeoff, but it's very dangerous when players are midair if defenders begin sliding under. That's why they have the arc. It's why there's so much point of emphasis is to try and prevent the injuries.
Meanwhile, Humphrey whistled for his 3rd foul. That brings in Josh Sharma. Holiday back on the floor. Holiday, the best 3-point shooter in the conference, nearly 50% with the left hand off the mark. Cartwright scooping against Alford. Sharma following and putting it through.
Stanford bigs are delivering with Reed Travis sideline with the injury. Coach Alford going to get a timeout, talk it over, and again, the spirited Cardinal cutting it to 11 with plenty of time.
Now remember, this is beginning to look a little bit like the Cal game. Up big at halftime, UCLA was, before the Bears came roaring back. And Stanford trying to do something similar. Sophomore Robert Cartwright helping to fuel a Stanford 16-4 run here inside Pawnee Pavilion. As we can take a look at what Cartwright has done, a dozen points so far here today.
Well, and using pace as well as change of pace to create good opportunities and excellent judgments, working out top with the ball screen action, able to free himself up for the drives as well as the jump shots when defenders went underneath the screen. And his hesitation, change of pace, led to a couple of those layups as well. So good work by Cartwright here in the second half.
Now the bonus. Second foul on Walker. We mentioned earlier that Cartwright had that disastrous injury, the broken arm, right before last season began, and that forced him to miss the entire year. Cartwright telling us that it became a problem, of course. He broke his right arm, his writing hand, as finals came up back in Palo Alto, that he used voice recognition software to type one of his final papers for his Earth Systems class lab. It took him over 6 hours to voice his final.
Well, Earth Systems alone would be challenging.
Taking it strong, and a whistle as Nbogu went up for what would have been another vicious block.
I like how quickly Stanford teammates run to their fallen comrade to pick him up. A sign this is a cohesive group, tied together.
Walker to the line, foul is on TJ Leaf. First point today from Cameron Walker.
That's so important. When someone gets knocked hard to the ground, you'll see sometimes teams where the players are meandering around like lambs instead of hustling over to pick up their teammate and show that support, let him know they got his back. It seems like a minor thing, but those little things begin to add up as you build cohesion.
Holiday able to bury it for three. His first points. Pretty quiet day for Marcus Sheffield. Last touch off of Stanford. It was Sheffield with 35 points versus the Sun Devils. They started now the last 5 games, has taken over the point guard duties, at least for now, for the Cardinal.
Well, he had the right idea. There was an opening or a lane there. Just lost control of the basketball. But Stanford playing much better basketball than they did Thursday against USC.
Lonzo Ball, another three, his first point since halftime. It's his 4th three-pointer.
Now, a Stanford fan may say they're down 17. How is it that they're playing better? But UCLA is the #2 team in the country. USC is clearly an NCAA tournament team and will give UCLA all they can handle on the 25th of this month when the Bruins travel to the Galen Center. But I see progress in this Stanford team from Thursday night.
It's a game that'll be on our airwaves as Leaf gets his fingertips on it.
The power forward leading the fast break.
Sharma whistled. And Alonzo Ball, who had been quiet in the second half, a recent three-pointer helping to fuel this Bruins offense, up by 7. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with the National Alliance on Mental Illness and their commitment to improving the lives of families and those living with mental illness. Learn more about how to be stigma-free and visit foxsportssupports.com. Glad you could join us here on FS1. Pac-12 Hoops, #4 UCLA leading the Stanford Cardinal. Jared Goldsmith alongside Steve Lavin. As Lonzo Ball now with a game-high 18. He's knocked down 4 three-pointers. The Bruins 11 for 19 from downtown. Remember, in their opening game of the season here from inside Pawnee Pavilion, they knocked down 18 three-pointers against Pacific, an all-time program record. Bogu at the line. Free throws have been maybe the only blemish so far today for the Bruins.
Yeah, they'll have to get into the gym and work on their free throw shooting around their practices. In addition, nice jump hook again by Humphrey, and the delivery by Cartwright. Again, keeping the ball high, not bringing it down.
Now Bogu with the flush. Set up by Ball, his 6th assist to go along with his 18 points.
Again, UCLA taking away opponents' baskets with one of their own. They strike so quickly.
Sanders with under 10 to shoot. Humphrey better do something here. And he does. Humphrey beginning to feel that he's got 19.
I like the alertness of the Cardinal going back to a hot hand while he's in the flow or the zone, so to speak. Why not explore it, heat check it?
Now Pickens almost stripped Holiday, but he was able to stay with it and draw the foul.
Ball working off the high screen and just puts it up. The big fella climbing the ladder. Two-hand jam, little chin up on the rim. Those are high percentage looks, Aaron. Call them 0-footers. There was a time in basketball where the lob was seen as a low percentage play, but if you have the personnel and the athleticism, the length of a team like UCLA or Kentucky, those are smart passes. Those are actually prudent passes, high percentage plays.
We've seen plenty of those so far here today. On the days we mentioned where the Bruins have struggled shooting free throws, just about 50%, if not a little under. Holiday gets them both.
It's so important to know your personnel as a head coach, but also as a point guard. Understanding where your teammates want the ball, and where's their sweet spot, helping your teammates play to their strengths. That's what coaches do, and that's what point guards do.
Pickens foul. He was on his way hard to the rim. Lonzo Ball's second foul here today. Now Pickens, the leading scorer without Reed Travis. Remember, Travis not playing once again today because of a shoulder injury suffered in practice, an injury that head coach Jared Hassan, his first year, his staff, his players at first glance probably thought would be much worse than it was. So a silver lining there, as you can see Travis next to Verhoeven. Travis on the left. Welsh checks back in for Bogu.
Good energy by the student section tonight.
Classes resume tomorrow. Break-ins for the students, but they are out here in full force here today.
There's a palpable energy around the UCLA basketball program. We're seeing celebrities turn out in numbers for big games, former players, alumni in the house.
Welsh battling against Humphrey. Welsh just hasn't maybe had quite his usual touch here today. Holiday, no good to Pickens. Cartwright, his seam collapses, but he's able to finish.
Boy, able to use the rim, take it again from one side to the other side of the rim, shield the ball from the UCLA defenders, and finish off the glass.
And now Holiday whistled for a double dribble.
Look at Cartwright here with the acceleration, blows by Holiday, and again, very crafty, intelligent play. He has been on point as a point guard tonight for the Cardinals. See his confidence growing with each possession.
Fouled by Holiday. His first foul.
Cartwright attacking the feet, north-south, off the bounce. And that's something UCLA will have to work on in practice in terms of leveling off dribble penetration. They want to push the ball sideline to sideline, but not allow that rim-to-rim or north-south angle to the basket. And why that's so important, Aaron, is once you put the ball on the deck and you get into the heart, the teeth, or the gut of a defense, you trigger rotation. And once you've done that as an offensive team, you've won. You set up pocket passes to the bigs along the base. You can kick it to three-point shooters, get yourself a mid-range shot, or even get fouled.
Well, Jared Haas having a conversation with one of the officials. Looks like Michael Humphrey needs a little tending to. He's all right. Both teams in the bonus now as we're just under 10 minutes to play. Cartwright now with 16. 11 of those coming since halftime. Alford hunting another three, and he's fouled by Allen. Alford's knocked down 4 3-pointers, over 1,600 career points for the senior. More to what we're used to seeing from Bryce Alford from the line.
I think when he takes that fraction of a second longer, he gets better lift from his legs, and when at times he rushes, he doesn't get that lift, and you'll see the ball come up short. Very subtle. We're talking granular levels in terms of a fraction of a second.
Alford now at 17. Stanford looking for its first win against a top 5 opponent since 2007 when it took down UCLA, ranked number 3 in the nation at the time. More than anything, the Cardinal looking for its first win in conference play of starting 0-3. A couple of really lopsided losses. Walker, no foul. He stays with Stanford with 5 to shoot.
Stanford trying to spread the floor, move the basketball, and then attack off the bounce.
To Walker. Sanders, a couple of fakes, steps into a shot. And a shot clock violation. And overall, for Jared Haas and this Stanford offense, Lav, we're seeing them at least get inside the paint a little bit better here in the second half. That was something, as you made a point of, it was nearly impossible for them in the first half.
Yeah, I've had them 4 times now, and this is clearly their best performance against good competition.
Hamilton, a little floater and through.
Great feel for the game. Hamilton can score in a myriad of ways. Loves the runner. It's good off the move. Grades off the bounce.
Humphrey with Welsh right in front of him, off the mark, and Welsh the rebound.
Beep, beep. There's that road runner speed. Picks up the foul. Ball just accelerates and go pedal to the metal.
And not only is the speed and the tempo from Ball impressive, but the way in which he does it, it never really seems like he's even sweating very much.
No, there's an ease and a fluidity to a number of players on this UCLA roster. But Ball in particular, impressive because he's the conductor, really the engineer of this attack. And he's flanked by very gifted, highly skilled athletes. So that combination makes UCLA a very difficult opponent.
Ball 5 boards, 6 assists, and now 20 points.
Ball's temperament or bearing, impressive as well. You don't see him in the peaks or valleys emotionally. He burns the psychic energy or fuel very efficiently. That's maturity.
Humphrey can't finish the dunk. Bruins in transition with Holiday leading things. And a palm in, he carried it. Saw Holiday with the double dribble not long ago, this time to carry. 11 turnovers for the Bruins. Backdoor to Cartwright. Sets up, rattles out. Hamilton stays with it as Ball. Quick touch pass to Leaf. Welsh rejected by Sharma. And a whistle that was a little late. They're going to call a travel on Welsh. Welsh, it looked like he threw his shoulder for a second. Ends up turning it over with an extra step. As we step aside, Stanford trying to get a little noise going here in the second half. UCLA has led the entire way so far here today against Stanford. And Lab, you were saying just a few minutes ago, this has become the place to be once again. Paula Pavilion, you can see Baron Davis.
Yep, a former UCLA great, went on to a terrific career in the NBA. And there's Casey Jacobson, one of our colleagues here at Fox.
Freddie Prince Jr. in the house as well. We're kind of covering a little bit of everything here today.
Pat Riley. Legend right there. Lakers, Knicks, Miami Heat. Jamal Wilkes, one of the great gentlemen. GT Academic All-American. Coach Wooden said about Jamal Wilkes, he was the most pleasant individual that he ever coached. He said, I love them all, but there are some that are more pleasant than others. And Jamal Wilkes, he felt, was just a peach of a human being. Obviously a great player as well.
His son's going to the same high school as Thomas Welsh, Loyola High. Pickens, a wide open look.
But on a regular basis, you'll see the Johnson family, Chris, Josiah, show up for ball games. Toby Bailey back in the house. Charles O'Bannon, a number of Bruins. Tracy Murray I saw earlier tonight. So that's what a winning basketball program will do. It energizes your base of fans, former players, alumni. It just created an electricity around UCLA.
Meanwhile, we said a little bit earlier that it just seemed like, for whatever reason, Thomas Welsh a little bit off today. 3 for 11 shooting now. 6 points for Welsh. Missed 4 games because of that right knee injury. Returned for conference play. He's had a double-double in half of the games he's played this year.
He's a reliable frontline player.
Sharma through traffic, fouled as he went up.
Good aggressive move. Stanford, again, attacking the rim, north-south. You'll get the benefit of the doubt with that aggressive approach. Eventually calls will go your way if you stay with it and don't settle for the perimeter game.
4th foul on Thomas Welsh. Sharma gets the front end of it. Sharma coming off a nice showing. 8.7 boards versus USC. Welsh, as expected, gets a breather as Alford checks back in.
You know, it's not only this year that there's bright prospects with UCLA, but the future is so bright. And not just this season, but beyond. When you look at the recruiting, Coach Alford, David Grace, and staff here at UCLA, 2 other balls are expected to also attend UCLA. So the Ball family basically setting up here in Westwood for a long run of basketball.
LeAngelo Ball, 6'6", 240, signed for next season. As Lonzo gets whistled. That's his 3rd. Speaking of Lonzo's younger brothers, frequent guests here inside Paula Pavilion.
And the father, I love his confidence. He says they're all one and done. And the 2 younger players, nice take by Holiday, able to split defenders, weave his way to the basket for the deuce. But the father said the 2 younger brothers are better than Lonzo. How about that?
That's a little terrifying if you're a UCLA opponent, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
Steve Alford, after a tough season last year, bringing in Leaf, bringing in Lonzo Ball, helping to turn things around. Couple of Sweet 16 appearances for Alford since coming to UCLA, looking to go even further this year. Humphrey with a double-double already, adding to his mark there now with 21 points. First double-double of the season for Humphrey.
This has been a breakthrough for Humphrey. Sustained. Got the Band-Aid hanging off his chin right now, like Rocky. Cut me, Mick.
Remember, it was Humphrey last year against UCLA with 24 points and 9 boards, so nearly a double-double against the Bruins a season ago.
We're going to have to get better Band-Aids at Stanford with a little more adhesive quality to them.
Gotta dry that chin off, lad.
Kind of flapping in the wind. It might act as a distraction to a defender. It's like a shot fake.
That's exactly what it's like. Ball with the rebound, pushing to Hamilton, with the rejection rather. Soft touch. Hamilton having a nice day, now at 15.
And Hamilton again, change of pace, very shifty. I think the referee just picked up the Band-Aid. Working overtime, earning his money. Got to wear a lot of hats as an official. Scoop up Band-Aids.
Or rubber gloves.
Get in position.
Pickens with the entry pass. Blocked as Walker went up for it.
Well, again, being rewarded, whether it's by the official or by putting the ball down low, even if you miss, you've created help, and it allows your teammates to slide in to clean up the garbage, so to speak, with that easy putback.
Holiday awkward angle leaning. Humphrey continues to add to his rebound total. Now with 14. Timeout called by Stanford. We'll take a break with them. UCLA, number 4 team of the country, trying to go to 16-1 and win their 3rd in a row on top of Stanford with under 4 minutes to play. Just under 4 minutes to play here from inside Pawnee Pavilion as UCLA rolling on top of Stanford right now. So take a look at Jared Haas, his first year.
And he's flanked there by Tom Orlick, who is his high school coach at South Lake Tahoe High School, and was hired here as the director of operations, and a great move by Coach Haas to go back in your roots and tap the shoulder of your mentor from a time in your life that's obviously special, because he's going to know Jared Haas as well as anyone other than his immediate family, and that's going to be important as Jared builds this Stanford basketball program, to have someone that knows you on both a personal level but also in terms of basketball, the knowledge base of a Coach Orlick, who had great success at South Lake Tahoe High School as a lifelong educator. And again, there's times where you need balance in your life, and that's something he'll be able to provide, that little perspective that we sometimes need as coaches.
And as an entirely new staff at Stanford this year, Johnny Dawkins done after 8 seasons. Just one time to the tournament. It was Sweet 16. Did win the NIT, but certainly not enough.
Coach Haas built a successful program at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Took him to NIT and NCAA tournament appearance. Had some big wins. Of course, the upset of North Carolina, because Roy Williams was kind enough to travel to play UAB on the road as a favor to his disciple. So a bright future on the farm for Jared Haas and company.
Humphrey gets Leaf up in the air, the foul. Leaf with a double-double, commits his 4th foul.
And we also hired Jeff Woodman, who was a former Cal assistant when Jared was playing for the Bears in his freshman year under Lou Campanelli. Jeff was an assistant coach at the time. And they worked together at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, and Coach Haas's last stop. So he's going back and bringing forward people from his past. So I love the loyalty, but also these are people that have expertise or basketball acumen. It's not just a favor to the boys from the neighborhood. Spanky and the gang are the Little Rascals. These are top-flight professionals.
What a showing today by Humphrey. 25 points, 14 boards.
Something they can build off of.
Holiday all the way to the rim.
Good take. Diminutive in size, but a big heart. Courage and toughness, and not afraid to take it into the trees.
Humphrey with 2 hands on the lob from Cartwright.
Cartwright, precision. Excellent timing, again, leading the bigs to the rim.
Whistle as Lonzo Ball is trying to penetrate.
See, if Stanford can play with this sense of purpose and tenacity, against every team in the league, they're going to get their share of victories as they begin to build this program back to national prominence. The key is to sustain it, and not just in Poly against UCLA, but to bring this effort and level of concentration in every Pac-12 game, because now, stepping into the Pac-12 conference tournament, Aaron, you've got a team that will be dramatically improved if they can play at this level.
Humphrey with 18 points in the second half. Much better showing since halftime for Stanford. Cartwright with 3. Ball 21 points now. 6 rebounds to go along with 7 assists as Leaf is fouled going up. That's on Humphrey. That is it for Michael Humphrey. His 5th foul. 4 of them since halftime. Getting some encouragement as he heads towards the bench. Humphrey 27 points, 14 boards. It seems like you like that, Shane.
High marks for the student section, for the atmosphere here in Poly Pavilion. There are times where it's been less than an exhilarating environment, but clearly the performance of this year's team has been a catalyst to energizing the home court here in Poly.
Meanwhile, TJ Leaf checks out his 8th double-double here today. Cartwright with a good take. He's got 18 points. He and Humphrey have been a bright spot.
Impressive performance. They'll build on that.
And traffic. The dish that time to Nabogu.
And again, the dart-like quickness, faster than a speeding bullet. Ball able to take away Stanford's basket because UCLA gets it out of the net and down the floor so quickly.
Allen heaves it up off the glass.
He's another intriguing talent. Allen played very well at USC on Thursday night. If they could put it all together, in particular at Maples, I expect Stanford to knock some people off. There'll be some surprises.
Coming off a season best 13. And this one thrown away. Just over a minute left. Of course, UCLA, their only loss right at the buzzer, or a fraction of a second before that in Eugene. Dylan Brooks hitting the very tough three-pointer. Only loss for Bruins and Coach Steve Alford. Is that almost a good thing to get that one loss out of the way, or no?
Well, you never want to lose as a coach, but the reality is no one's gone undefeated since Bob Knight's Indiana Hoosiers in 75-76, so it's not likely to happen. The key is learning from your losses. And a defeat definitely gives you a report card. Go back, watch game film, do the drill work and practice in those areas where you're vulnerable or deficient, and then get better. It was interesting. Mark Hollis, the chair of the NCAA selection committee, was here tonight. Matter of fact, he made a West Coast swing. He was in the Bay Area to see St. Mary's and Gonzaga. And then also saw some Big West teams, Aaron, here in LA. And then caught UCLA tonight. So he's doing his homework as the chair of the selection committee, and obviously taking notes in terms of who are the 1 seeds, who are the 2 seeds. And UCLA tonight looks like a 2 seed, but there's still time. And based on what they do in league and in the conference tournament, they can solidify a 1 seed in the West and enhance those odds. Guess what? The last time the Final Four was played in the West was in Seattle in 1995 when Jim Herrick and company cut down the nets, and UCLA can line things up for themselves to do the same, to hang that 12th banner if they can improve between now and the NCAA tournament.
What a start this season for UCLA, their best start since a Final Four appearance. As we take a look at the updated Pac-12 standings following this win today.
I see 5 locks, and then you've got teams that have work to do if they hope to make the NCAA tournament. One of the more intriguing teams is Utah. Larry Kristoviak. Christmas came early with Collette, a big man from Utah State, as well as Bearfield, transfer from SMU. Those two have made the Utes a different team.
What a performance, no surprise by Lonzo Ball. Knocked down 4 3-pointers, finished with 21 points, right at his average 8 assists.
Well, completely at peace with his game in terms of confidence, the ease that he plays the game with, the decision-making, his judgments, as good as it gets for a freshman. Unusual talent.
4 Bruins finish in double figures as UCLA improves to 16-1 with their defeat today against Stanford. The Cardinals still looking for its first win in conference play. Now for Coach Slavin, I'm Aaron Goldsmith. So glad you could join us here today from Westwood, from Hunting Pavilion. Once again, UCLA rolls over Stanford. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time. Pac-12 Hoops here on FS1.